anytime I had to apply for a LENDIO business line of credit, business loan, or have you, I always have to be prepared. And I knew that right off the bat while going to this whole business line of credit application process. And the thing here is that LENDIO is actually a platform. I knew that before. It's a loan marketplace. So you really don't talk to lenders directly. You have to go through LENDIO first. You have like a one-page pre-qual application, and then LENDIO will have to dispatch your loan application to their network. Okay. So what I did was this time I said to myself, I first need to be clear about what I want in terms of this business line of credit. So LENDIO actually on LENDIO you can be approved for like 1,000 to $500,000. So I said to myself, what do I really want? I needed to be clear about the amount that I wanted in the first place, because I didn't see the previous times I applied for a LENDIO, it was a little random, and my ads got denied because the lenders were not really sure what I wanted. So this time I said, okay, I want to have $250,000. I want to have $250,000, and I had a business plan. I had everything. Like I needed I knew exactly what I was going to use the cash for. I wanted to buy some supplies from overseas. I wanted to also sign new contracts with some suppliers domestically. We found like a company that wanted to do business with us in Philly. We had another company, another partner in Texas. So I needed to have some cash for that. So I knew that, if I went to a LENDIO is kind of cool because it's a loan marketplace, it's a business lending marketplace. So you have a lot of lenders who are there trying to really fight for your loan. So that's really good. One thing I love about LENDIO over the years, and I've been actually using LENDIO for many years now. I love LENDIO for three things. The fact that it's you can pre-qualify for the loan. In other words, you can actually see what's available out there for your credit profile. That's number one. Number two, you have a lot of lenders. Number three, you have one single application, so you're not wasting time. You can do, as a matter of fact, you can get everything done within 10-15 minutes. Okay, so you apply and LENDIO will take care of the rest. So LENDIO will actually contact the lenders, and if lenders are interested in your profile, they will contact you. The only problem is sometimes they play games. They start calling you like left and right. After you said no or maybe whatever, they'll still contact you. That's the only problem I have with LENDIO. But overall, it's a great marketplace, and that allows you to pre-qual for the business loan or business line of credit. So when I talk about a business line of credit from LENDIO, I knew that there were some advantages and disadvantages while going into the whole process. And some of the advantages that I love with LENDIO is that you have a convenient online application with fast pre-qual decision, right? That's what I just said, right? And you also have the ability to have your loan application or your line of credit application dispatched to 75 plus lenders. You have a high borrowing amounts and long-term financing that are available. And that, for me, that was kind of important because, I usually used to get my line of credit, my business line of credit through banks and credit unions. And sometimes, especially lately, those banks and credit unions, they've been like very stingy asses. I can't believe it. I don't know. Maybe they were kind of scared about, like, after all the bankruptcies we have had in the industry, people are kind of scared. So Silicon Valley Bank SVB bankruptcy really scared a lot of them, and so they've been really stingy asses. But the thing is, on LENDIO, you have a lot of lenders who are really happy to help you out. So we love that, and I love the fact that my team loves that too. You have lower qualifications than banks and credit unions, and you also are able to save the time and stress of applying to multiple lenders on my own. So I was really happy going in there. So LENDIO was a great application for me, a great application platform for me. And some of the things I don't like on LENDIO is that basically, if I'm talking about a LENDIO business line of credit, how to get approved for it, and sometimes you might actually have to put in extensive documentation. Rates and fees can be expensive, and loan or line of credit proceeds can take longer to disburse than other alternative lending options. Because the thing is, you never know whom you're going to meet on LENDIO. I mean, you have a lot of players on the platform, but you have no idea. You have no idea. Like, it's like you're walking into a dark room, and you have no idea whom you're going to touch. So that's the thing. It's like a black box, if you will. But I still love that. I mean, I love the excitement, so to speak. I mean, we're talking about business, but I still want to talk about that little sort of a hormonal part of the whole process, to say, okay, I don't know what I'm going to get, but I'll always have the option to say no. If a lender contacts me and say, I'm going to approve you for this amount of this APR, I can say, you know what? my ass is out of here. I don't want that because I could get more, or I would a little more. And it wasn't really important for me to understand that for me to get approved through LENDIO, to get a business line of credit through LENDIO, I need to understand how LENDIO really worked, right? Because LENDIO is a platform. LENDIO is not a direct lender. So the thing is, I wanted to first understand how LENDIO made its money, because I'm like, are they charging me something do they have like some hidden fees? No. So LENDIO does not charge you. If you are going to apply through a LENDIO, they don't charge you directly. They're getting that cut from the lender. And the lender is actually, the lender is putting the whatever commission they are giving LENDIO, they're putting that in the APR, they're charging you. So you are the one actually paying LENDIO anyway, indirectly that is. But the thing is that LENDIO actually has I would say a catalog of business credit products. So I wanted to apply for a business line of credit, but I knew that LENDIO had other products that it was actually providing. So from business term loans to short-term loans, and to business cash advance, to like accounts receivable financing, to equipment financing, to SBA loans, to commercial mortgages, to startup business loans, business acquisition loans. One thing I told my team, my companies, like my team members, was that, listen, we are going to first try the business line of credit. And if we don't qualify, we could just wait for 1 or 2 months and come back. We can come back and apply for another credit product. Because the thing is that when you have a supermarket of business loans, and because this is how I think about LENDIO, you got to be really clear. You have to be really clear and strategic about what you want. Like, I don't know if you remember, like, can you imagine the last time you went to the supermarket and you had no shopping list? If you have no shopping list, you're going to spend a lot of time, especially if you have a large constellation. If you have a wide array of similar or related products, you're going to waste your time. You'll be confused as hell. But if you have a shopping list, you have a clear idea what you went there for, and the shopping process goes a little faster. So it's the same thing with LENDIO. So LENDIO is giving you all this like business term loans, short-term loans, business lines of credit, cash advance, and what have you. But if you knew that you were going there for a business line of credit, you just focus on the business line of credit, and that's what I did. I knew that I wanted to have $250,000 business line of credit, because on LENDIO, you can be approved, like business lines of credit go from $1K to $500K. The APR goes from 8% to 24%. Terms go from 1 to 2 years renewable, and the funding time between 1 or 2 weeks. And for me, that was kind of cool because I wasn't really desperate for cash, but I wanted to get cash anyway, right? I wanted to get something. So I was like, okay, I will take however long it takes. I will just wait and get my cash anyway. And while I was actually studying the requirements for the business line of credit, I was also studying other business credit products that LENDIO had, specifically equipment financing and SBA loans, because I was like, listen, I know that for SBA loans, the whole process can be very complicated, especially when you have the government backing up the loan. Then you have to put like 20% of the loan. It was just like, I didn't want to get into that kind of hassle, because I was already busy on my business, trying to really make sure my accounts receivable were interesting versus my accounts payable. We needed to chase some stingy ass customers who were not actually paying us on time. They started ghosting us. So I was really busy already, like taking care of other stuff. Also making sure just to run the business, just to make sure we were generating revenue, right? Because if I don't generate revenue, how am I going to get the cash to pay whatever business, whatever I tap into the business line of credit I get on LENDIO? So I was in the middle of a lot of things. But one thing that was important for me was I knew exactly how much I wanted. I knew exactly what I was going to use the cash for. I knew exactly that I had the capacity. My business had the capacity to repay the loan. Those are the three elements that will actually push you towards success if you were to apply for a business line of credit on LENDIO. So, but I was paying attention to other types of products. Like equipment financing was really interesting to me. SBA loan also. I was kind of interested in commercial mortgages to see what the LENDIO was actually offering. But I was like, okay, right now I'm not really there yet. Maybe in 5 years from now, 3 years from now, I might come back on the platform for a CRE loan. But I was paying attention to startup business loans also, because I have a friend of mine. We actually went to school together, and she was telling me, yeah, I have a startup that's very prominent, very not prominent, promising, and I might need a loan. Can you please help me out? So I started doing research also for her business in terms of startup business loans. And I realized I was very happy when I saw that LENDIO actually has a startup business loan program for startups and new businesses, and where you can get loan amounts from $500 to $750,000. So we're talking 750K. And the APR is kind of decent too, 0% to 17%, and the terms up to 25 years. So I was like, whoa, that's really good. And so I sent her the link, and I said to her, listen, if you want me to help you out, I'll help you out. Her name is Sheila. So I said, Sheila, I could help you out, not a problem at all, okay? And she's like, yeah, I'll gladly take your invite at the right time. And right now I'm kind of busy on other stuff, but yeah, I'll definitely remember you. So I said, okay, no problem. And the thing is that, see, when it comes to the business line of credit, what I love about LENDIO is that the requirements are very clear. See, that level of transparency. When we talk about granularity, when we talk about the depth and breadth of transparency on LENDIO, that's really good. So you know right off the bat what you need to provide. Now, mind you, LENDIO is a network of business lenders. So this is whatever number I'm giving you is just an average, and your specific lender might ask for more or less. So you just have to be careful about that. So LENDIO, if you want to qualify for a business line of credit on the platform, I mean, here are the minimum requirements. Okay, your credit score 560 or higher. So credit score, if you have 560, you're kind of cool. You're cool, not a problem. Annual revenue, at least $50,000. $50,000. So if you divide $50,000 by 12, you're looking at what, 4K, right? 4 times 12, that's 48. So about 4,250. So for like $4,200, if you are making at least that in gross income, you are good to go. And in terms of the time in business, we're speaking about 6 months or more. So that means what? If you're a startup, technically you could qualify for a LENDIO business line of credit. The only thing is, depending on the lender, what I've seen is that because you have many lenders, you have some credit unions, you have some traditional banks, you have some alternative lenders, you have and the funny thing is you have other online lenders who are also present on LENDIO. Like, for example, you have OnDeck on LENDIO, you have Bluevine on LENDIO. So, I mean, so you can have a syndicate of lenders, okay? And so those lenders might be different in terms of their approach to you, in terms of how they want to do business with you. And some lenders might ask you for a secure line versus an unsecured business line of credit. So you have to really navigate this sort of, collateralization sort of process. I would say, unsecured versus secured. And the thing is, when we talk about secure line of credit, if you have a secure line of credit, you have less strict application requirements, because the lender knows that the risk is kind of limited. But if you have an unsecured line of credit, no collateral is required, but you have stricter application requirements. So you just got to be aware of this dichotomy, if I want to call it that way, this sort of a gap, okay? And what I realized was that to apply for a business line of credit on LENDIO, one thing I did was I said to myself, of course, you have the one page pre-qualification page that LENDIO wanted to go through. Yes, of course, but you have to understand, once you fill out the application and once you actually answer basic questions about yourself, about your business and your funding needs, what will happen here is that this will take about 10 to 15 minutes. What will happen here is that you'll send the data to LENDIO, and everything so far is handled in-house, right? So what will happen here is that LENDIO you'll get a call, or you'll get an email from someone from LENDIO, and they call them funding specialists. Sometimes they call them funding ambassadors. I mean, it sounds fancy, but hey, listen, that's what they do anyway. So you'll get a call from a funding specialist. So that funding specialist will actually ask you to provide additional documentation depending on the loan you want, because that funding specialist know exactly what kind of criteria you must meet if you want to get the loan, because that funding specialist has dealt with so many loans in the past, so that he or she has a clear idea of the kind of requirements you need to provide if you want to get a loan in the first place. And what will happen here is that once you send those requirements to the funding specialist, he or she will get back to you with I would say a catalog of offers. And so you got to go through this catalog of offers, and then you choose your loan. So once you choose your loan, if everything goes fine, they'll send your loan to the respective business lender. And if the lender loves what they saw, they will actually just approve you, and you get funded. Okay, you get funded. You just have to so you get the funds within 24 hours, not a problem. Now, post funding, you still need to make sure that you set up your LENDIO account properly, so that you can actually make payments on time and avoid any issue, right? Because that's what we want anyway. We don't want to have any issue, because once you start having like business lenders on LENDIO, they generally report to a personal credit and business credit. So if you F up, if you ever F up, which I don't think you should anyway, I beg you not to. If you F up, they'll report your ass to the 3 credit bureaus on the personal side, but also the 3 credit bureaus on the business side. So you'll see your ass everywhere. I mean, which is, I don't think something you want to have. And I'm talking about metaphorically, but also literally. Okay, this is very important. The thing is that LENDIO actually they are constantly changing the requirements when it comes to like what you need to qualify. And this is why, for me, I always tell people, and as a matter of fact, I was telling a friend of mine, we were at a high school reunion last week, and I was just telling him, I said, listen, he wanted to also apply for LENDIO. I said, listen, your best bet is to actually call LENDIO, because if you are going to rely on what's available on the website, you might actually have outdated data. You don't want to have outdated data, and you want to actually get the data from the source. So just call LENDIO and ask questions like, what are your requirements as of today? What are you asking for? In terms of credit score, in terms of time in business, in terms of revenue, in terms of collateral, if any, because those requirements are different based on the type of business loan you want to get. Because in my case, I just wanted to have a business line of credit. But if I had wanted to get a business term loan, the requirements would have been different. If I had wanted to get an equipment financing transaction, the requirements would have been different. If I wanted to have an SBA loan and so on and so forth, if I had wanted to have a startup business loan or a business acquisition loan, the requirements would have been different. So it's one of those things where LENDIO actually has a set of I would say requirements in place to make sure that if you want to apply for a specific line of a specific credit product, business credit product, that your business is actually in sync. Your business meets the requirements of that specific product. So yeah, like for a business line of credit, I was so happy when I heard that, I just had to have a FICO score of 560, and I had to be in business for 6 months, and I had only to have let's say a 50K annually. Now my business is way older than 60 months, than 6 months, and I have way more than 560. But I was just very happy because I'm like, okay, if the requirements are that low, that means that if I have a decent FICO score, decent revenue amount, and decent I would say longevity report for my business, I could qualify for a higher amount. Okay. And I was really happy that in the end, I did not get the 250 that I wanted to have. I got 175, and I got connected to a syndicate of 3 lenders. I did not get the loan from one lender because in some transactions, LENDIO may not be able to pair you up with one lender. So in that case, what they do is they invite a syndicate of lenders who together will pull the funds to actually qualify you. So everything is possible through LENDIO.